It's time for us to go over your latest math extended response called Peter's Pumpkins. If you recall, the prompt said, Peter sold pumpkins from his farm. He sold jumbo pumpkins for $9 each, and he sold regular pumpkins for $4 each. Peter sold 80 pumpkins and collected $395. How many jumbo pumpkins and regular pumpkins did he sell? The first thing you are responsible for when you are writing a math extended response is to show all of your work. And so on this person's paper, I see the correct answer, and I wonder if this person did it in one try. I'm a little skeptical that they did it in one try. So my suggestion, even if you have these calculations that aren't right, still show them because they show your grade or your thinking process. So don't just put the one that's right, put everything. So here's a nice paper. This person tried and tried and tried. All of these are wrong. They crossed them out. I would just say, please don't cross them out because it's good to see your thought process. And then we have the final answer. So this is all of this person's work. I can still see through the scribbles. Just make sure that I can see your thought process even on the wrong problems. So this is super neat and very organized. I like how we see every single attempt. We see how they evaluated this was too high. It was still too high. It was still too high until it became perfect. We saw every attempt neatly done and organized. So now we're on to the explanation. Remember, there are two things you are responsible for. You have to explain in words how you found your answer and why you took the steps you did. So if you look through here, we have first I did this because, next I did this because, then I did this because, and finally I think the answer is because. So this is it's a very nice explanation. It's got everything that I want. I would just say maybe add a little bit of text evidence, add a little bit of math vocabulary, but overall this is a very good, solid first attempt. So this person has the framework down pat. First I did this because, then I did this because, next I did this because. But I want to point out a couple of things. Look at the number sense in this very first paragraph. First, I knew that the number I had to multiply by 9 had to be around 20, and it had to be odd, because if it were too high, it would not work, and the number that I was trying to get was odd, so the number I multiplied by was odd. Oh my gosh, look at the number sense going on here. And then I also want to point out this last paragraph. Last, I added the two numbers together to see if it was 395. It wasn't. I went through trial and error until I got it right. Oh my gosh, it is totally okay to say I didn't get it the first time, but I kept trying, and this is a strategy I used until I got there. Very nice. There's a couple of things I want to point out on this one. Look at this first paragraph. Beyond the first because, next because, then because, that's all super. But focus here. I really like how this person said they had to play around with the combinations of 4 times something and 9 times something until they got something that worked. They're explaining their strategy. That is really a strong thing to talk about in your explanation. Not just procedures, but strategies. And then this last explanation, oh my gosh, look at the detail. This is so problem specific. You want everything you write to have to do with this problem and this problem only. You can't be vague. You can't be general. Look at the detail that is in this bottom paragraph. Excellent. So here's some advice on improving your math extended responses. First, try something. This problem was technically a systems of equation problem, but we haven't done that yet. But what you could have done is guess and check. But start with something. Even if you go down the wrong path, you can still write about that. Say, I tried this, but it didn't work out because, and then try something else. That process is just as important as the correct answer. Incorporate text evidence and math vocabulary. I cannot stress enough that those things are extremely impressive. And if a reader sees them, you're going to earn some good points. Incorporate the question right into your answer. Make everything you write problem specific. This means that your steps and your reasons are specific to this problem only. You could not write the same thing for any other problem. They are not vague, they're not general, they are precise. Remember, for every step, you also have to have a reason for it. Make it a math reason. It is a math extended response. Watch your time. If you are getting low, I want you to switch back and forth between doing work and writing your explanation. For example, let's say you tried something and it didn't work. Stop and write about it. Then go back. Work some more. Try something else. Stop and write about it. It's sort of a toggle between your work and your explanation. I think some kids thought they had to get all the way down to a perfect answer before they could start writing their explanation. I think it's much better to have a little of both than to have a non-complete work and no explanation to go with it. So if you need to, just keep going back and forth between explaining and work until you either finish or are out of time. As always, when you use complete sentences, correct spelling, and appropriate punctuation, your writing is a million times easier to read and follow, and therefore score appropriately. So pay attention to all of those ELA skills that you've been working on.